Welcome back to the Unprofessional Fives. Season 3, we are back with the Pro Series, and let me tell you, it is about to level up. This series right here is absolutely insane compared to Season 2, and you're going to understand why the pro players are signed to pro contracts. So looking at Blue Team, we've got a mix of the Season 2 All-Stars. Obviously, you can see some very recognisable faces there from Season 2, including Pops, the Milky Bar Kid, Grimaldo, Musu and Juanito. On the red team, this is where you're going to see a team full of some unfamiliar faces as well as a returner from Season 1. Let's kick off with Season 1 returner, Donis Quintero, aka Twinkle Toes. You loved him in Season 1. He's back. Fresh off a season with Malta, where he absolutely lit up the league from January onwards. In goal, we've got Reese's Pieces, aka Reece Garlia, who is the goalkeeper for futsal for Sweetie United. And then the other three members of the team, you've got Gianluca Zami, Luca Gat, and Big Mish Jideli Mihaili. Joined on commentary with me today is a voice you're going to get very familiar with, and you can see his head poking out the bottom of the frame there as well, aka cameraman. It is Steve Spiteri. Say hello, Steve.
Hey guys, thanks for the invite, Dan. Hopefully you won't get tired of my voice by the end of this.
I don't think we will. You're going to have Steve on commentary with me for the remainder of the season. He's going to be a vital voice for the Fives this year. Very knowledgeable, both in futsal and football. And he even makes an appearance halfway through the season. So you get to see a little glimpse of what cameraman has under his belt in terms of skills. He is a futsal goalkeeper, very good shot stopper. And let's get into the game. So Milky Bar Kid is in the corner there with Donis. I think you're going to find, Steve, in this game, red team obviously are fresh off season. They're going to be fit. They're going to be techie players. They're going to be moving the ball around very, very quick. But what they don't have is the five-a-side sharpness that Season 2 All-Stars have. This is, I think, 2 weeks post finishing the recording of Season 2. They've all been really in season with the five-a-sides, and I think there's a chance they might just catch out the red team if they play it right. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's the balance of having the five-a-side match fitness and having the 11-a-side match fitness. I mean, the mentality is going to be very different in the game. We can already see how the team is shaping up in the first couple of minutes, and how that match fitness is tailoring towards the blue team being a bit more dominant. But now we'll see if the rest of the game plays out that way.
I think the blue team, what you mentioned there in terms of possession, you can see they're just ticking the ball around a little bit better than the red team. Red team are trying to find their feet, trying to find that chemistry between each other. Obviously, it's the first time a lot of them are playing together, besides Luca and Gianluca, who actually were teammates at Gudjela United for the past season in the Premier League of Malta. But they're going to take a little bit of time to find that chemistry together. Obviously, the individual brilliance like that is going to show, and they're going to get opportunities, but they will have to be ruthless in front of goal to try and beat Pops, who is a very experienced national team futsal goalkeeper that we got very familiar with in Season 2. Blue team full of some bright sparks. There's a few players that will catch you out if you give them the chance, and Grimaldo goes through early, and Reese's Pieces, what a save. What type of save is that? That gets used in futsal a lot, that technique.
Yeah, that's a split save. When you're one-on-one with a player, when they don't really have a pass to make, it's one of the best saves to just like spread yourself out as far as possible. And being in such a small pitch, and Reece obviously being used to futsal with Sweetie, will definitely be utilizing that save most of the times when he comes up 1v1.
You can see already in the first few clips, he's already demonstrated that he is very capable of using that save, and he's relying on it to make some very, very good saves. Red team on the ball, Donis is very tricky player, loves to play patient and just work the way through the gaps. I think he's going to have to try and get the other players on board with him this game, because the others are very much direct players and want to go forward. Donis obviously using that brilliance of like Latin American football. You see they play and grow up a lot with football as they're younger, so I think he's very used to the small-sided format. As we see Juan pick up the ball wide, he's left in space and he manages to find the gap through the legs of Reece, and that's 1-0 to the blue team. Juan with a very good finish there, catches the red team off guard, and you can see the red team not prepared for that and are slowly falling apart fresh off that conceding. I think they thought this game was going to be a bit of a walk in the park for them, and they are quickly finding out that if they don't take this seriously, blue team are going to take their chances. Milky Bar Kid with a great opportunity to get a highlight reel finish there and just misses the ball, doesn't make contact with it. It's an air shot, goes out for a kick in. Mish on the ball, plays it out wide to Gianluca, aka the poacher. This is someone you want to keep your eyes on this season because he is absolutely ruthless in front of goal. But if you were looking at a FIFA card of him, he would have absolutely zero defending. What do you think about that, Steve? You've seen him play so far this season.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why his nickname is the poacher. Why he's just like up front all the time, just waiting for the ball and trying to get those goals.
And it definitely proves a useful tactic at times, but in other times during the season we have seen they do get punished for it. Milky Bar Kid just couldn't get the ball under control there. If he had got it out of his feet, that would have for sure been another goal. And blue team are knocking on the door. Red team really need to sort it out now as the ball just goes past the post. Takes a small deflection off Big Mish, and blue team are going to get a corner. Milky Bar Kid at the back post. And just like that, that is another wake-up call to red team. If you don't mark your man on the corner, you are going to get punished. Something we found out very, very quickly in Season 2. What do we think about that goal, Steve?
I mean, second post, five-a-side, one of the most crucial goals, one of the most crucial positions to take up in these small format games. Definitely a great goal.
And that is a classic Milky Bar Kid finish right there, isn't it? I think we've seen plenty of goals from Milky Bar Kid where he just goal hangs at that last post, and it's a simple tap in every single time.
Yeah, and it's a surefire way of becoming the top scorer. Like, he was the top scorer in last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, final day he managed to score a hat-trick that cemented his position as the top goal scorer of Season 2. That's how he got the call up to take part in this game today. A few of the other players here obviously as well in the top scoring charts, and that is how they've earned their position to start off in the Pro Series and get one game. As the ball's played across, blue team punished for not clearing their lines there. They had a chance, they took too long. Donis plays the ball across and Poacher gets his first goal of the season and the first of potentially many. Again, great finish there. Lovely footwork just to set the ball and quickly take the volley into the bottom corner. Nothing fancy, nothing over the top. Just, I think red team are starting to realise they've got to just get the job done now and start to get some goals on the board. Blue team trying to work their way forward still as the ball goes out for a corner. Nothing comes of it. Pops tries to play the ball forward. Luca's intercepted. Ball out to Gianluca. Gets the ball caught in his feet a little bit, but manages to hold on to it. That is going to be a key theme of the game moving forward as Mish rattles the post there. Doesn't come off. But what you're going to find is blue team's touch on the ball as the game goes on, I think, is just going to start to show like that, where they can't get the ball under control, and red team are going to show that extra little bit of class to keep the ball close to their body, under control, and allow them to start to dictate the tempo the later that the game goes on. The ball is out with Juanito, who is going to be a very key player for the blue team as he is a pro player himself and is supposed to take part in the remainder of the series, but unfortunately picked up a very serious injury, I think in his hamstring or groin, playing in a 7-a-side match just after this game, which ruled him out for the remainder of the Pro Series. Grimaldo on the ball, plays it across to Juan. Maybe could have got the shot away early there, but instead tried to let it roll across his body. What do you think of the game so far, Steve? How's it panning out?
I think the game's pretty balanced. Red team are finally starting to find their feet and starting to find the pockets of space to play into, which they've been looking for through this whole 12 minutes of the game. And blue team are starting to like realize that they were only like dominant with the red team just because they were still trying to find their feet. And I feel it's much more balanced now than it was at the beginning.
You see the blue team starting to chase a little bit. They're running after shadows as the red team move the ball around much faster pace. You can see the little one-touch passing, bopping it around the field, whereas blue team players like Milky Bar Kid maybe hanging onto the ball a little bit too much, which doesn't allow the other players to make the runs. Grimaldo with a lovely left-footed strike there, but it's going to take a bit more than that to get past Reese, and Milky Bar Kid's going to have to be converting those if blue team want to have a chance of staying in front in this game. Rare mistake there from Donis as it's played across, and Reese again makes a great save. Very unlike Donis there, usually very careful, tactile in possession of the ball, but just played a loose pass there that Musu was quite happy to pick up. Gatman on the ball as he rolls the player inside, and that is going to be a free kick. One rule that we are going to be introducing for the Pro Series, guys, there is no slide tackling. So you're going to see slowly throughout the season, slide tackles are going to be penalised with a free kick. And there is also now a last man sin bin rule applied, and Milky Bar inches away from something that could have been goal of the season. And Luca just fires wide. So the last man foul now is going to lead to a 2-minute sin bin, just like futsal. Otherwise, if the opposition scores during that sin bin, we are going to allow the player to come back on the field early due to the punishment having been served by the goal. That's going to be a fair way to level out and stop players like Pav from Season 2 pulling players down in the last man position. We want people to not foul in that position, so this is going to be a little way to deter that as Pops picks up the ball and starts to drive out, and Red Team just pouncing on every loose ball, showing that ruthlessness to get the ball back as Jan picks it up, plays a little 1-2 with Luca. It's like clockwork, played across the box, and a nutmeg by Big Mish finishes off a lovely, well-built up attack there. Pops tried his best to get in the way, is nursing a little bit of an injury. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about that injury?
Yeah, I think Pops ends up hurting his shoulder in one of the last games of futsal, and his left arm was just completely dead for like the first couple or three of the first games. In fact, we started calling him the one-armed bandit,
yes,
weren't we, for these games?
So that was a running joke throughout the series as Pops slowly began to get mobilisation back of that. Is it his right arm or his left arm?
As far as I know, it was his left arm.
Left arm. You can see it in the footage. Even when you're watching, the way he's holding it, you'd think it was dislocated. Really doesn't feel comfortable right now on that left arm, but Pops is a veteran goalkeeper that is just so dangerous on the ball. We couldn't say no to having him included. And as the series goes on, you see slowly that left arm begins to become more and more mobile, and he regains the full range of motion of it. But Pops has still made some big saves this game already, and I'm sure throughout the season he's going to be right up there as one of the top goalkeepers of the season. Reese's Pieces on the ball, plays it out to Donis. 20-minute halves, remember guys, so we're hitting the final 2 minutes now. Neither team is going to want to concede during this last 2 minutes, as going into the half-time at equal is going to be very, very important for the blue team. Red team definitely going to want to try and take the lead before the end to reduce that pressure of needing to score. And blue team should sit back a little bit, I think, and defend this tie for now and see if they can maybe catch a counter-attack at the very end. That's not what you want to see, and just like that, punished again in the middle. Grimaldo and Moose making a little slip up there. Grimaldo's first touch just letting him down. Luca very quick to capitalise, sells Pops with the shot and just rolls it to the side. And there's the poacher again. Fox in the box, stood in the right position, and that's a little one-touch tap-in. Steve, what do we think so far? Red team are starting to get away with the game now, aren't they?
Yeah, Red team have definitely grown into the game, blowing the blue team a bit out of the water now. Their class is definitely starting to show up, but I'm sure blue team will fish out some quality from somewhere, because there are lots of quality players in the team. As you can see, there have been many good touches, many close calls. So if they start to capitalize on their chances, just like that one from Thomas, never mind.
Yeah, just like that. This is how five-a-side works, isn't it? Obviously, tell us a little bit about why Pops is so far out of his line right now.
Yeah, Thomas is Pops is one of those marauding goalkeepers who plays up top, flying keeper. He's as good with his feet as he is with his hands. So he's like trying to support the team in a more advanced position. But that also does mean that if you do get one of these chances where you lose possession quickly, then the opposing team could just like capitalize on that and just shoot from the other half and score.
It's a very risky play to do, especially at only one goal there, and I think Pops was not expecting blue team just to lose the ball like that, but There's a little bit of naivety, obviously, from the younger players of the blue team that Thomas took the shot, really had to make sure it went in, and it very unfortunate to hit the crossbar. But again, Milky Bar Kid there, you need to either try and make the foul or make sure that you're the first player to get to that ball and kick it out of play, because when you've got someone like Big Mish on the field, as you can see in the replays here coming up shortly, the ball drops to him and not even a split second passes without him thinking, I'm shooting this, and beautiful finish.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to control it. He literally just blasted that ball, saw pops off his line, and just took the opportunity, which is fair enough.
This is the difference when it comes to the Pro Series. Obviously, these players are being paid good money to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's Misha's job. 10 goals in the Amateur League last season, hit double digits for his first season in the Maltese leagues. And at only 22 years old, he started the season. He's now currently 23. He's going to be playing his football with Gargour FC again after they achieve their target, and he's going to remain there where he is their star striker and look to capitalise and score another double-digit season. Very clinical in front of goal, I think, throughout the season. We're going to see a lot of goals from Mish, and he's going to be right up there in the top goal scorer chart. Obviously, he's on 2 goals for the game already. And Luca there, big chance to try and get them off the mark early. Really should have taken that. Blue team are going to want to make sure they get the next goal in this game, and that's not going to help. Milky Bar Kid doing way too much. Gianluca on the ball, plays it across. Big Mish for his hat-trick. Pops makes a big save. Gianluca on the ball again, carries the ball very well. Milky Bar Kid takes hold of the ball and somehow gets the ball there.
No, blue team definitely need to start controlling the game a bit better. They're taking too much time on the ball, especially against red team, who are more experienced in their play and who started to really gel together as a team now. So I think they need definitely to start controlling more to get themselves back into this game.
Donis on the ball, mucking around with the ball a little bit too much and has given away the ball, and Grimaldo's been given an absolute present. Gift wrapped by Mr. Twinkletoes there. A bit too twinkly for a change. Tries to mess around and accidentally passes the ball straight into Grimaldo, who's always going to love a chance like that. Smashes it through the legs of Reese's Pieces, who really wasn't given any opportunity to save that there.
No, definitely let down by his team there, but unfortunately things happen.
God.
Wow.
Talk about an instant reply. Blue team switch off for half a second and zoom. Wow. Talk about an instant response.
What a cushioned header though as well, and a five-a-side goalpost.
Do not underestimate the difficulty of a skill of doing a header like that in a five-a-side goal. And the pass from Luca Gat, aka Gatman, is something out of a superhero movie. Absolutely insane goal right there. And that is just going to really emphasize the skill gap between these sets of players, right? I think it was how we predicted the game might go at the beginning, but I wanted to give an opportunity to the Season 2 players to get together one last time and test themselves. They've earned that chance by playing so well in the Unsigned series, where they're playing against some of the best unsigned footballers in Malta at the time. But now the Pro Series has started. The pro players are back for the summer, and we're going to kick off the summer by showing the level of jump that we're going to have in the skill here of the series. And Red Team are really starting to take control of the game, really starting to show the level of intensity that they can maintain. That's really what you're seeing taking over the game right now. The speed of thought, the actual fitness levels, the way they can maintain that intensity if they're running for longer periods of time, and they're just ruthlessly pressing Blue Team. Every time Blue Team take the ball, they're just going and taking it straight back off them and holding the ball until they get a good chance. Big Mish maybe should have been at the back post there. That's one thing that you always comment on throughout the filming of this series, is something that doesn't get utilised enough in the Fives, is that hanging at the back post. Why don't you tell us a bit more about why players are at the back post?
No, definitely not. It's one of the, even when I would be playing in any of the games, it's one of the things which I shout the most, just for a player to get onto the second post. It's one of the easiest goals that can be scored, and even against the goalkeeper, you can't both defend the first post and the second post. So if you have a player just waiting at the second post for that crucial pass, it might give the person with the ball an opportunity to shoot, because it's going to confuse the keeper on whether he should protect the first or the second post. So definitely one of the most crucial positions to take up while attacking. Definitely one of the easiest goals to score in five-a-side.
Not only that, when you are at the back post, even deflected shots or misplaced shots can just ricochet off you, and because you're so close to the goal line, you don't even need to move to score the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
A very easy way of stat padding and racking up the goals, like you mentioned earlier. It's a good chance to try and get yourself on top. Milky Bar Kid gets a chance. Just rushing. You can see he's frustrated with himself. This isn't a vintage Milky Bar Kid performance that we're used to seeing, but I think he's just getting exposed a little bit at this level. And Gianluca, aka the poacher, aka the man of 1,000 celebrations, gets his 4th goal of the game. That is going to be very, very good for him, sitting on top of the goal scoring leaderboards, and only going to make it harder for anyone else to catch him. Ball played across. Donis Twinkle Toes picks up the ball now, just starts to turn on the electric pace, tries to play through, and Juan makes a good block there. Juan, you can see, sitting very, very deep, and they've been caught out so quickly that it even caught out the cameraman, because, believe it or not, that was a goal. We're playing the stop and play rule, obviously, that was in effect during season 2, which is as soon as the ball stops for a free kick, it is live, it is direct. You can play quickly, and Luca showing he is smart thinking and quick thinking there, just to go and take the shot early. And although we don't have full coverage of it, I can assure you that was a lovely finish into the top corner. Caught everyone off guard, including Burhan, the cameraman. That did get taken out of his wage. And blue team finally get their chance and get themselves back into the game, reducing the deficit to only 3. Grimaldo, with his 2nd nutmeg finish of the game, pokes it through the legs into the back of the net. They really need the next goal now, don't they?
No, blue team definitely needs to get the next goal, but Tom is there showing extreme control in taking the shot. He waited till he got his shot off to intentionally nutmeg the player. Really good control there from him, but the blue team do need to show more of a team effort rather than these individual flashes.
It is a little bit of individual brilliance now from blue team at this point. I don't think we're seeing much team play from them. They lose the ball very quickly. Their reactions off the ball, you can see Milky Bar Kid not really marking, just letting the players go past him. They really need to switch on a bit, because this is where the quality is really going to start to come out. If they start giving the red team time and space, they're going to play around, and then they're going to start to have fun now that they've got the 3-goal cushion. With 11 minutes left to go in the game, I really don't think it looks likely that blue team are going to get back into this game. But someone like Pops is going to be a key player to try and help them get back into this game with his experience. I can confirm Pops is signed up for the rest of the season. You are going to see a lot more of Pops throughout the rest of the Pro Series, and it's this fly goalkeeper strategy that really does help him stand out for his team and adds a 5th player into the possession for the team. And that does make such a big difference when playing, to have that extra player to hold the ball. Ball played across the Milky Bar Kid. He's going to let it back to Pops. No one's closed him down, and he's managed to find the nutmeg on his Sweehy United teammate there. Reese's Pieces caught completely off guard. Players in front of him, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there and say his line of sight was blocked. But Pops definitely catches him off guard and gets a lucky nutmeg there to give blue team a chance.
Yeah, Reese wasn't expecting that shot to be taken for sure. I don't even think Pops was expecting to take a shot, but once he saw the opportunity just open up for him, then he realized, I don't have a pass, might as well take a shot.
I think at that point as well, Pops obviously getting a little bit frustrated here, probably ticking out a little bit of frustration, just thinking, okay, right, if no one else is going to shoot, I'll do it. Pops is very good at that, just seeks out an opportunity, and like that, now it's a 2-goal deficit, and we know in the Fives, 2 goals can change in a matter of seconds. So blue team really have got a chance to get back into this game, but they really need the next goal to be theirs. Counter-attacks like this really could be the way to do it. Milky Bar Kid, too much time on the ball, and again, teammates now starting to get frustrated on him, and they've lost the ball in a really bad area there, and red team just punishing them. If they're going to make it easy, red team will say thank you very much, take the present and deliver it through the post box just like that. Twinkle Toes gets his 1st goal of the series. Couldn't have been easier, could it, Steve?
No, Pops getting caught out again from playing flying keeper, as we said before. We just saw the advantage of playing flying keeper when Pops got his goal, but that's the disadvantage of playing flying keeper. If there's a player who isn't going to pass the ball and spend too much time on the ball when your keeper is out, then it's going to just get your team caught out, unfortunately.
And blue team again not understanding the importance of, if your goalkeeper's out, do not fucking lose the ball. That is the first thing you think of as soon as that goalkeeper steps out of the box. Do not lose the ball. Everything has to be perfect. And if you are going to lose the ball, you better go and charge in, make sure you foul or get the ball back, because otherwise you are going to get punished. as they found out there, Grimaldo tried to take the kick a little bit too quickly. Juan wasn't expecting it. One little touch in front of the player, and that was it. It's a goal from there.
But it has to be said that the quality of the red team is also showing through these chances, because these chances, even though they look easy, they're very easy to miss or misplace. So their quality is obviously shining through when they take the opportunity with any of these chances.
Very good point that you just mentioned there, as Luka rounds off a 9th goal for the red team, his 2nd goal of the game. Again, just making it look simple, but as you just said there, these chances, they're not simple, and that really does just emphasize how good these players are, because we've seen blue team have just as many chances in the first half to really tuck it away and gain a higher lead, but instead they just don't have that same clinicalness that the red team have. And just like that, another gift, that fly keeper now really starting to go against blue team, not understanding that they need to keep the ball, and you can see the frustration on Pops' face as he sees the empty net being taken advantage of. 5 goals in the first episode for Gianluca. Milky Bar Kid trying to do everything on his own at the moment and taking way too long, but he gets the ball out wide. Grimaldo on the ball, and that's another great save from Reese's Pieces.
Reese has definitely been making some great saves throughout this whole episode. Although it has to be said, Pops has been making some amazing saves too, despite his injury. And one of the goals I think might have been prevented had he not had his injury to his left arm as well.
I think at the end of the league, once we see the stats after 10 games, we're going to look back at this injury that Pops has had at the beginning and think maybe had he not have been injured, would he have finished higher? Would there be less of a difference at the top? But we will only see a great pass there from Milky Bar Kid. Grimaldo has to finish that, and this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of being clinical. And they really need to take opportunities like that if they're going to have any chance of trying to redeem some... just flashed across the post there. Unlike Gianluca to miss a chance like that, could have been 6 goals for the game. But yeah, if blue team are going to restore any sort of pride by the end of this match, they're going to need to try and take those opportunities when they come. Can't be missing them, as red team now just taking out 3 players with 1-1-2. Donis just playing around with one there, and Gianluca at the back post, but not soon enough. Like you mentioned earlier, had he have just been waiting at the back post, that was a sure goal. Milky Bar Kid gotta take advantage of that. Big Mish makes a vital block on the line to deny Milky Bar Kid. Ball out wide, Grimaldo picks it up. It's gonna go out for a kick in. We're at the final 3.5 minutes. Blue team running out of ideas. Moose trying to shield the ball in the corner there.
Can you bring me my second battery?
And the ball is going to go out for a red ball. Reese's Pieces almost gets caught there by Milky Bar Kid.
And that would have been embarrassing had that gone in.
Would have been an embarrassing goal to concede, and very typical fashion of Milky Bar Kid to get a goal like that. That's the sort of goal he made famous in Season 2. Donis with a lovely little turn in the corner, just playing around with the Milky Bar Kid. No match for Twinkle Toes, tries to get past the Moose, but Moose is a big strong defender there and just shuffles him out wide. Gatman on the ball, tries to revy it through the legs of Moose, but Moose is racking up some high defensive stats this game, proving a key part of the blue team defence. The ball comes out to Gianluca, who strikes it hard, high and wide. Milky Bar Kid on the return now, trying to use that toe punt technique that is very famous in futsal, but in the five-a-sides it doesn't quite work out the same way. I think a lot of the time the way the ball is, it doesn't quite hold the power the same way it does in futsal. Obviously you play futsal a lot more than I have, Steve. Tell us why players use that toe punt technique in futsal so often.
Yeah, it is super popular in futsal. Sometimes you just don't get the chance to really shape up to take a shot properly, so you have to take a shot while you're running, which is why that technique is so popular. And obviously the ball being a bit harder and doesn't bounce as much makes it actually easier to be able to take those shots off.
I think the ball retains a lot more of the power when you toe punt it with the futsal ball due to the kind of dead weight that it has behind it.
Also makes it much harder for the keeper to predict when the shot is coming off, so you might just catch out the keeper on his line or flat-footed just because you would have taken the shot half a second earlier than he would have been expecting.
Throughout the season you will see a few futsal players make their way into the fives, and you're going to see the techniques, which ones work, which ones maybe don't translate as effectively. There's one player in particular that you definitely need to get ready to watch, who joins the series from I think episode 5 or 6, and that is Mr. Fonseca, the university What position does he play for University?
Well, I mean,
Futsal's
futsal's like all over the pitch, but he does play. I mean, he plays as kind of like a fix who also scores goals. Fonseca is one of those players who's just so versatile. They just let him play wherever he wants on the pitch, and then the whole team just sets up around him. But he did also finish as top scorer, so showing his quality.
Top goal scorer of the league. Talking about top goal scorers, Milky Bar Kid, the season 2 top goal scorer, scores his second goal of the match and gets that consolation goal. I think at this point it's just going to be a consolation goal for the blue team. As we've seen, it's hit the 40th minute. That means the next time the ball goes out, the game is going to be over. And the ball rolls out of play, and that is game over. The final result, 10-6 to the red team. I'd like to say it was surprising, but I think before the game started, even when we were recording, me and you had that small prediction before that we thought blue team might catch the red team off guard like they did in the game. And then as soon as red team found their feet, it would be a bit of a mauling from there. And it would just be a case of how many as opposed to will they score.
Yeah, we definitely did predict the red team winning before. Not to take anything away from the blue team, of course, but it's just the red team just have that slight bit more quality on the ball and capitalizing on those chances which presented themselves throughout the game.
Obviously, blue team are composed of mainly unsigned players. We're looking at amateur league players and also academy players such as Milky Bar Kid, who's currently playing for, or was playing for Gargoyle FC Academy, the under-21s at the time. So a valiant effort from them. They're coming up against Premier League level footballers here. And let's talk about the man of the match. Just flashed up on screen. Gatman finished as man of the match. According to the stats, this year we are going to be using the point system to score the man of the match, unlike season 2, where players voted after the game to decide who the man of the match was. This time we're going to let the stats be the facts, and Luca Gat has been named as the best performing player of the match. We're going to see a little breakdown of some of his plays in just a second and his stats. 2 goals, 3 assists, 24 defensive plays, and a total of 27 points for the game. I'm going to look at a few replays of him, including this absolutely amazing pass that sets up Gianluca to score a wicked header. Little bit of cleverness there, high IQ to take the free kick early, as well as some good finishing. What do you think of Luca's performance today?
No, definitely, I think was one of the best players on the pitch. I mean, you're not going to win man of the match unless you do that. But 3 assists, and what assists. I think his assists in this game were so much better than his goals, actually, because that peach of a pass onto for that header is just ridiculous.
Talking about the header, great timing. We are going to announce the goal of the game has been won by Gianluca Zamit for episode 1. Again, as you were just saying, Luca's pass. Let's take a good look at it here. Beautifully weighted pass. Inch perfect. You can see how close it is to touching the net. Perfectly into the space for Jan, who, like his name suggests, absolute poacher, times the run to perfection, glances the header with absolute precision just to redirect it past Pops. And let's talk about the one-arm bandit right now. That was on his left-hand side.
It was on his left-hand side, yeah.
Do we think if Pops wasn't suffering from the shoulder, maybe he gets his arm up in the air?
He definitely would have managed to get his arm up. I doubt whether the save would have actually been made, because it was just such a perfect header.
It was a beautiful header, and that is going to be the end of the first episode. Obviously, we're going to flash up on screen right now the stats on the board for the players from the first episode. Obviously, as the rest of the episodes come in, you're going to start to see all the players competing for the stats, such as top goal scorer, top assister, most saves, most valuable player, which is going to be total points for the season, and many other metrics that we are measuring. Like you've seen from season 2, we're going to really focus on the stats this year. The pro players are going for gold. They're going to try and win top spot in each of their respective categories, and we're going to see who ends up the most valuable player at the end of the series, and they are going to be the winner of the UNprofessional Fives season 3. That MVP leaderboard is going to be the absolute pinnacle of what players are trying to win this year. And believe me, there are some cracking players about to step onto the field in future episodes, so be sure to stay tuned. Steve-O, what do we think about the series? Obviously, you've been there for the recordings. What players in particular do you think players should look out for coming soon?
Definitely Big Mish. Big Mish is just one of those players who, with his size, you wouldn't expect him to move in the way which he does and touch the ball in the way which he does and score the goals that he does as well. And definitely Donis as well. Donis is just such a, just Twinkle Toes. He's called Twinkle Toes for a reason. Just such quality on the ball and seeing the game in a completely different way.
And big shout out to Donis, who actually just recently represented Malta abroad in Italy in a regional cup for an 8-a-side Malta team. Was selected from that process just because of how good he is at small-sided football. Really is a talisman in 5-a-side and 7-a-side, let alone when you put him and let him loose on an 11-a-side pitch where he becomes a different animal. But big congratulations to Donis Quintero for going abroad and winning that trophy actually against the Italian team. But yeah, Donis is one of those players. He's a bit of an unsung hero in the Fives because the way he plays, he doesn't actually score that many stats on the board because the way he plays is so calm and composed. He's always the player making the pass to the guy that gets the assist, or making the pass to the guy that scores the goals, or defending in such a way where he's not actually doing the tackle to win the defensive point. He just ushers players out of play and controls the tempo in such a way that really his talents, you'll watch him on screen and recognize immediately. He's one of the best players on the field, but the stats maybe don't back up in the MVP leaderboard that he is as influential as he is on the pitch. Guys, we're gonna finish the episode there. We've been talking now for 36 minutes, but Steve, it's been a pleasure having you on commentary with me. I'm looking forward to having you on for the rest of the season. What do you think of the game overall?
Yeah, an amazing match to kickstart the new season. Looking forward to the rest of the episodes.
And guys, if you've enjoyed the episode, do leave a like and subscribe to the Unprofessional Footballer to stay in tune for the rest that is to come for the remainder of the season. And be sure to leave a comment down below. Season 5 of the Unprofessional Footballer coming next summer. Which players should we be looking at? Is there someone that we missed this season? This is your chance to let us know. Make sure you leave comments down below of what player that you want to see appear in the Fives, and if there's any players coming up in the series that you're most looking forward to seeing. I think one player that I'm definitely excited to see is the return of Joseph Willie. Coming in from episode 4, he is a wonder to watch. He's just been abroad playing in Portugal and he's back in Malta, and he makes his return from season 1 to season 3, the Pro Series of the Fives. Guys, we're going to sign out there. It's been a pleasure. What a cracking game to get a season started. This is the Pro Series, the best professional players in Malta, all on one pitch in a 5-a-side, all action 5-a-side match. This is going to be good. Stay tuned for more.